Hello everyone and welcome to a new episode of The Bug Warrior. In today's episode I will show you at last the beginners friendly pit push build for Season 12. As you know, every season I try to show you the most powerful yet easy to gear and play build. The reason is that most of us are casual players, we are dads, we have our 9 to 5, basically we're not streamers. But that doesn't mean you can rank in the tower leaderboards nor complete the most challenging content every season. So allow me to show you the Paladin Fortress Blessed Shield for Season 12. Alright, the first awesome thing that you will notice about this build is that it doesn't require any mythic. I think this is a first, but it's totally fine, because despite having no mythics, you will be able to easily clear the pit 120 plus or the tower 118 plus. Okay, so let's begin by looking at the ideal gear. There are 3 items that are mandatory for this build to work. This means that you should use your speed farming build, such as the Oradin or Hammerdin, until you get these items. First, you will need the Mantle of the Great Chest Armor. Next, you will need Griswold Opus, which is a popular one-handed sword for the Paladin, and last you will need the Ward of the White Dove shield. These 3 items are your objective number 1. Once you have them, you can begin transitioning into the build. Alright, let's look at the main skills. As always, I am leaving the link to the build planner in the description, so you can check everything at any time. Alright, so let's look at the skills. Your main damage dealer is Blessed Shield, which basically deals Thorns damage. So yeah, this is a Thorns build. Next, we're using Clash to increase our stacks of Resolve and Thorns damage. Resolve is important with this build because of Mantle of the Grey. As you can see, your Juggernaut skills consumes your maximum number of Resolve and deals increased Juggernaut skill damage for each point consumed. Next, we have Fortress, which is our main survival skill, but it does more than that. Fortress is an ultimate skill, so this is why you want to have as much cooldown as possible, so you can cast it all the time. When you cast Fortress, first of all you become immune for 3 seconds. This means nothing can hurt you, and this is why you see the same shield icon as the protection shrines. Next, when you're inside the fortress, you generate Resolve, but also your skills are free to cast and you gain damage per stack of Resolve, meaning that when the fortress is active, you can spam all your skills, but mainly Blessed Shield. Aside from all that, Fortress slows enemies by 50% and also they take 500% of your Thorns damage per second. So it is very important that when you engage enemies that they remain inside the fortress for maximum damage. The other defensive skill we're using is Consecration, and this one creates an area where you deal additional damage, weaken enemies and heal. Last but not least, we have 2 auras, which are Defiance and Fanaticism. Defiance has a modifier that increases also your Thorns damage. Our oath, of course, is Juggernaut. Now let's look at the full list of aspects, tempers, bloated bonuses and gear. For the helm, the ideal item is the Godslayer crown. However, until you find one, you can get a helm that has cooldown and faith per second and add the aspect of the Indomitable. We already mentioned Mantle of the Great, just try to get a GA at Thorns and Thistles. The rest are optional. Regarding the gloves, ideally you want to use Fists of Fate. As you know, the rolls with these gloves are crazy, so try to get something with good lucky hit chance and chance to make enemies vulnerable. The other 2 you can get them from bloated bonuses. For the pants, get something that has Thorns as a GA ideally, and we will be using the aspect of Glint's Anvil. When tempering, increase your maximum Resolve stacks and make it a GA. For the boots, Wild Bolt aspect, so you can pull distant enemies and deal increased damage. Here it is very important to get good movement speed and evade charges, so you can chain your kill streaks. The temper here is very important as you want to increase your Thorns and continue tempering until it becomes a GA. Next, for Griswold Opus, get a GA on Heavyweight. For Ward of the White Dove, get ranks to Blessed Shield, but most important, chance for Blessed Shield to deal double damage. For your rings, you want to get life on hit on one of them so you can fortify. This is very important to survive. Aside from that, get critical strike chance, attack speed, cooldown and strength. One aspect will be Chastisement and the other Juggernaut's Covenant. The tempers are very important for this build to properly work. First, get Fortress cooldown reduction and make it a GA so you reach 45%. The other ring, get lucky hit chance to restore primary resource as you will be draining it with your runes. For the amulet, look ideally for something that increases the ranks to Iron Shapes Iron, cracking the armor or the best offense. Then get strength. When tempering your amulet, get maximum Resolve stacks and also make it a GA. For the bloated bonuses, it's really simple. Find anything with critical strike chance, attack speed and increase strength per kill streak. For the runes, we're using a Hook Axe to increase your damage and Vigniwat to execute enemies. You can also get Baxe for crowd control if you wish. For the Paragon board, we're using a Spirit at the starting board, then Castle with Chip. Castle is great because you deal damage based on your damage reduction granted from armor. Next we have Shield Bearer with Sentinel. Shield Bearer deals damage based on your block chance. Next we have Relentless with Resplendence. These two are very important to understand. With Relentless, every time you move and 2 seconds after, you deal 80% increased damage, but you also get 30% cooldown reduction, meaning that with this build you never want to stop moving. That is why attacks reduce evade or more evade charges are so important. With Resplendence, every time you cast an aura skill, the cooldown of your non-aura skills is reduced by 2 seconds. This is why you want to spam casting your auras inside the fortress, so you can reduce the cooldown of fortress. Lastly, we have Beacon with Outmatch. Beacon allows you to deal 90% damage when one of your mercenaries or allies are inside your auras. Regarding the mercenaries, we are using Alkane to slow enemies, reduce their damage, and kill non-elites with less than 30% life, which is great. For the reinforcement, Variana, so you can get more attack speed. For the elixirs, get Iron Barbs to increase your thorns, and for the incenses, Ancient Times to get more strength, Sense of the Desert Afternoon to get more thorns, and Soothing Spices to get more armor and resistances. Now that we know everything, let's look at the gameplay. Your main objective when pit pushing or tower pushing is to reach the Bloodbath kill streak. So what you want to do is not engage with any champions or elites. Instead, go from mob to mob and do your best to reach Bloodbath in the first 5 minutes when pit or tower pushing. Once you do that, then begin engaging with the elites and champions. The pit will be easier because you have more time, and the longer you fight, the stronger you get. Regarding the tower, you need to engage with elites and champions, ideally next to a pylon. Once you engage enemies, stay inside your fortress, but keep moving so Relentless kicks in. Of course, when you see the ground attacks appear, step away so you can survive. Other than that, the gameplay is super simple. Find a group, cast Fortress, spam Blessed Shield and the other skills, move to another group and repeat. When fighting the pit bosses, stay away from the Echo of Lilith, as that is instant death. The only thing left to say, and the most important, is that you want to keep your kill streak no matter what. So when fighting at the pit or tower, sometimes it's best to pull enemies near the exit so the chain doesn't break. So there you have it. This is the easiest and best build for casual players in Season 12. As always, please let me know your thoughts in the comments. We reached the end of the video. Thank you very much for watching. If you made it this far and found the video interesting or useful, please consider to share, like, comment or subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.